Hey guys, I'm Michaela. I am here today to review the first book in the White Rabbit Chronicles, and that is Alice in Zombieland by Gina Showalter. The narrator of our story is 16-year-old Alice Bell, who goes by the nickname Allie, whose parents and 8-year-old sister Emma have died in a tragic car accident. Before his death, Allie's father is a paranoid alcoholic who spends his nights roaming the halls of their house with a loaded gun because he believes that there are monsters trying to get into his house to do his family harm. When Allie asks her mother about this, she says that she's never actually seen the monsters, but that they should trust Allie's father regardless. When the crash happens, Allie is knocked unconscious and she wakes up and realises that her mother and sister are obviously dead and that her father isn't in the car, so she tries to extract herself from the wreckage, and she sees 3 men standing over her father's body, and thinking that they're rescue workers, she's about to go and, crawl over or something. I don't know what she's planning on doing. She's just in a car accident. And then she realises that these men aren't really men. They sort of look like they're rotting, they just look disgusting, and they're looking at her dad like he's a meal. And then things only get worse when she sees these people jump inside her father's body and then reappear and be taking bites of his flesh and trying to rip him apart. And at that point she falls unconscious again and she doesn't wake up until she's in the hospital. Allie is placed in the care of her maternal grandparents, and while she's in the hospital she's also introduced to a girl named Kat. Kat basically overhears nurses talking about Allie, what had happened to her, and Kat takes it upon herself to be the one-woman welcome wagon because Allie is going to be attending the same high school as Kat, and she's just decided that they're going to be best friends. So within the first 20 minutes at her new school, Allie's already managed to make an enemy out of Mackenzie Love, basically just because of Kat. They have some old issues, so Allie takes that on and has to deal with the repercussions of annoying the queen bee of the school. Just in case Allie didn't have enough going on, she's standing in the crowded corridor talking to Kat and making some new friends, and then she sees this totally gorgeous guy with full sleeve tattoos, black hair and violet eyes. They make eye contact, then bam, she's against a locker making out with him. It's the most bizarre thing. And then Kat gets her attention again, and she's back on the opposite side of the crowded corridor. She's told that his name is Cole Holland and him and his friends are trouble with a capital T, not to mention her brand new enemies, Mackenzie's recent ex-boyfriend. Of course. Just when things couldn't get any worse for poor old Allie, she thinks that she's been seeing the same monsters that were jumping inside of her father's corpse hanging out in her grandparents' backyard. She feels that all of this could have to do with Cole and his group of friends, who look like they spend their nights more at a fight club than doing their chemistry homework. I can't really say too much else without completely ruining the entire story, but I would suggest picking this up if you're looking for something that's light, fun, easy to read. It's a cheesy book, but it's good, and I love that. I love that I just zipped through it the first time that I read it. If you are looking for a complete retelling or anything that's vaguely like the original Alice in Wonderland, this isn't the book for you. Apart from a rabbit-shaped cloud and a friend named Kat, and, she wears a blue dress, I think. That's basically all that it has in common with Alice in Wonderland. If you haven't read the book and you plan on doing so, I'm really sorry, this is where we have to say goodbye, guys. But if you have read it and you want to hear some of my thoughts about a few different bits and pieces, I've got a little list here, then stick around. I'm very excited. So kisses if you're leaving, and hold on tight if you're not. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the real MVP of this series. I got 2 words for you. Mackenzie Love. I see a lot of hate in the fandom for her. Obviously, she's supposed to be annoying because she's trying to, break up Allie and Cole, whatever the hell she's doing in this book. But honestly, she is my favourite character. Okay, you need to think about it this way. If you're hating on Kenzie, just imagine that you're with your boyfriend, your dad doesn't really approve because you're out at all hours of the night. He doesn't know that you're killing zombies and all this stuff. Kicks you out of the house. Your boyfriend says, that's okay, you can move with me and my dad. My dad thinks that that's fine. And then you're like, oh, excellent, I'm not homeless anymore, fantastic. My boyfriend, really cares about me and wants to make sure that I'm taken care of. And a couple of weeks later, your boyfriend sits you down and he's like, it's not working. Everything in your life is his life because it's their job, so they work together. So she has to see this guy every single day in his house, at school, when they're patrolling and slaying zombies. That would kill me. To make things even worse, Cole admits that they were still sleeping together even though they'd broken up. And for anyone at any age, it doesn't matter if you're 16, 36, 60, I don't even know, that's a bit of a head fuck. If you're with someone and then you're not with someone, you don't know where it's going, it could be headed towards a reconciliation, then all of a sudden Ally Bell shows up and Cole's having these visions of making out with her. It turns out that she's a really good fighter when she actually gets into the gym, and Mackenzie's threatened because she was still sleeping with Cole before school started back. And then Ally's on the scene. Ally's everything that Mackenzie isn't. You know, she's this leggy, tall blonde, and Mackenzie's, while she's gorgeous, it would still definitely lead to some insecurity because at one time you were exactly what Cole wanted, and he has a track record of dating brunettes, and this is just a complete curveball. So I love Mackenzie. She is my favourite character out of the whole series. This is another thing that's amazing throughout the whole series, but especially in this book, just everything that they say to each other I just love, and that is Kat and Frosty and their arguing. I love the whole dynamic of that relationship because Frosty, he is whipped, he's really whipped, and he obviously knows that there's something not quite right with Kat. So I just think it's really sweet how he just lets her just abuse the crap out of him and constantly break up with him and stuff. And when she's like, say one more thing, Frosty, and I swear I will shave my head, you will have a bald girlfriend. And I think that he actually does say something else, which is pretty funny. So I love that. And the last thing that I wanted to quickly talk about was Emma, her little sister, as the witness, which is sort of like a guardian angel in the series. It was just really sad having to watch Ally communicate with her dead sister, who was definitely wise beyond her years because of everything that she'd probably seen at home. She didn't really act like an 8-year-old too much, but maybe it's just as well that, you know, now that she's this witness, it could be some sort of, she could have gone through a bit more of maturity check or whatever. But it just made me sad when Ally's thinking about, you know, that Emma would never have kids and she'd be this little girl in her ballet costume forever, and that really fucked me up. I'm not gonna lie, that wasn't good. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of Alice in Zombieland if you have read it. I am going to be doing a review for Through the Zombie Glass and also Queen of Zombie Hearts, which I managed to get my hands on a week early. I just want to thank my bookstore for releasing it early because it was absolutely fantastic. It was the perfect conclusion to a trilogy, but I will keep my lips sealed. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone if they haven't read it, and I would strongly suggest picking this book up just because I love it, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very, very easy to read. I hope that you have an amazing day or night wherever you are in this big glorious world of ours. Lots of love, hugs and kisses. Bye.